It's a unique group of people that share this passion for speed, for competition.
Fairgrounds Speedway Nashville has been around for over 10 decades.
This was originally a horse track. It was a 1-mile dirt track, and they ran horses. And in the late 50s, they ran a couple of automobile races, and it became so popular that the horses disappeared.
In 1958, car racers decided to build a paced racetrack. The racers got a 10-year lease to build a half-mile track, which shared the front stretch with a fourth-mile track. And on July 19, 1958, the first race was held at the Speedway.
Bill Donahoe had the first contract here that ran from 57 to 87. It was a 30-year deal. This is the third configuration of the racetrack, actually. The original was a 24-degree banking.
There were several changes that happened at the track in the 1960s. Lights were added, weekly race nights were added, new grandstands were built, and the track was lengthened.
They changed it to 36 degrees in the late 60s, called it a parabolic racetrack. The idea was that you could go just as fast in the corner as you could at the end of the straightaway. There were a couple of fatalities in that period in a couple of years, obviously none of which would be claimed to be part of the track itself. But finally in the early 70s, 1969, 70, 72, they went from the 36-degree banks down to the 18-degree banks in the configuration that's here now. And it's stayed the same since then.
Cuckoo Marlin was the first to win back-to-back championships in 65 and 66. Then, the 1970s featured talented drivers that would go on to race in NASCAR's highest division.
It has continued to produce, for some reason, great race car drivers from the very start.
NASCAR stars that raced in the 80s included second-generation Sterling Marlin, Bobby Allison, Darrell Waltrip, third-generation Bobby Hamilton, and Dale Earnhardt Sr. But a dispute at the track resulted in the NASCAR series coming to an end in 1984, which wouldn't last long. The NASCAR circuit started back up in 1995 with a yearly Busch Series race, and a Truck Series race was later added. The second-generation track champion Sterling Marlin still comes out to the track today to run a few laps at where his career started. And that's what staff here want, the competitive but fun racing for generations to come.
My father's raced here, I've raced here, so my son's raced here, so it's really a three-generation family here.
Nicky Formosa used to race at the track and now resides as the track official.
I've been racing here probably for 25 years and won 5 track championships, coached my son to 4 track championships. So pretty much I've been around this place for a long time.
Nicky's dad and granddad raced at the track, and Nicky was able to race with several of the now NASCAR stars.
We had a 20-lap race. It was me, Sterling, Bill Elliott, Michael Waltrip, Jeremy Mayfield, Bobby Hamilton. So I've raced with pretty much, I've also raced with Dale Earnhardt Sr. here and pushed him down the front straightaway.
Other well-known drivers that raced at the track with NASCAR legends included Charles Binkley, Jimmy Griggs, Steve Cavanaugh, Andy Kirby, and several others. But for the newer racers, it's the history behind the track that keep them coming back each year.
To be able to walk through those tunnels or walk through that tunnel and know the history of this place, how long it's been here, the names that have raced here, the guys that have won here, the champions that have made laps here, it's a very humbling experience.
The history behind it. You know, this place has been here forever. You know, Dale Earnhardt's raced here, Richard Petty, Rusty Wallace, guys like that have all raced here.
The annual All-American 400 US is a popular race for the Speedway that brings in a lot of competitive racers.
You got to check in with the guy in Spotterville.
You know, it's one of the races that we've had pinpointed on the schedule all year, and you know, good event to come to, good hard racing, and hopefully we can be standing in victory lane at the end.
You know, it's really hard to pass up the chance at our point in time with our team and where it's at to not come out here and attempt the 400 laps.
It's going to be the longest race I've ever ran by, you know, over 200 laps. So I'm really excited to get out here. We thought it would be a great opportunity at a super cool track like the Fairgrounds Speedway, and you know, get some good experience in.
Drivers from ages 16 to 60 attempt to race their way to victory lane. But before the drivers get into their cars or trucks, there are pre-race rituals that have to be done. Every race starts with having the veterans stand up and thanking them for their service. Then the drivers are introduced. After that, the color guard brings the flags on the stage and a prayer is said.
Thank you for your many blessings, seen and unseen.
Then the track flag is raised as the national anthem is sung. And last but not least, the drivers wait to hear the line they love. Then, with several warm-up laps behind the pace car, the caution lights go out and the drivers wait with anticipation for the green flag to fly. But as the drivers race their laps and the fans cheer on their favorites, you start to realize that it's not only about the competition, it's also about family.
One, the competition is great, but more importantly, it's the people that are a part of this sport. This truly does become a family.
And as each season comes and goes, the Fairgrounds Speedway Nashville's legacy and history continues to grow.